Welcome to the Ask Matter Solutions podcast, and this is our second one. I'm here, I'm Sam Fields from Matter Solutions, and I'm here with...
Ben Maiden. I'm the director at Matter Solutions. Basically, I run the SEO team, which means that, and I also sit with clients and plan strategies and stuff. Sam, what do you do?
And I look after the Google Ads primarily. So yeah, Ben knows what I do.
I know what you do. Yep.
I look after Google Ads primarily, but also LinkedIn and a little bit of Facebook as well.
Okay, so what are we doing today, Sam? We've got this fancy slide deck.
Yeah, so we've gone a little bit further. We're more likely to be medium-fi format, but
Still lo-fi.
We're still lo-fi, and we're basically going to be discussing a couple of key features that have happened in the last couple of weeks for us, and last couple of months for Google Ads in particular, and anything.
Yep.
SEO related, Ben?
No, probably not today. But if you've got any questions, you can ask them. Add a comment. You can even get on our Facebook page and ask there. We have actually got a Facebook group for people interested in digital marketing. It's called Digital Marketing Matters. Might put a link in there. In the side when we get on. Okay, so today we're going to talk about these three things: remote working, because we're all working remotely now, which is sort of big change for us, and sales, some common questions that we get, because we've had some really interesting questions the last few days. Some of them are things we've heard a lot of times, so we thought we'd cover those. And also, Sam, you're going to talk about?
Yeah, the Google Ads, it changes to the keyword match types. So that should be quite interesting for anyone new to the scene, or even who's been around for a while and just doesn't keep a close eye on what's going on with Google Ads.
Great. Yeah. Okay, so first and foremost, remote working. So we're now sat, maybe hear a plane flying overhead. There you go.
Yeah.
Meow. No, it's a slow plane. There you go. Yeah. All right, so we're sat at Sam's place, and what's it like working from home, Sam?
Yeah, I really love it. I have a very small window of being able to see the city. It's raining now, which you might also be able to hear the rain. But I'm really enjoying working at home, getting up, getting into work really early now. I used to get into work very early, but now I get into work exceptionally early because it's right next door. And I feel like I'm very productive.
Next door, like the next bedroom?
Yeah, the next bedroom.
Yeah,
so.
Good. All right. Yeah, I put in a Facebook post, I'm doing a lot more work without shoes on these days. I don't know if it's that's making the work better, but I'm kind of enjoying it a lot. Just, heading downstairs, get a drink, hot chocolate. I don't drink coffee, so yeah, that. And then just sit down and just chomp through the work. We got... We've switched to a really amazing project management system. I'm super impressed with Clickup is the name of the system. It's really good. We used to be on Jira and HubSpot, and now we've moved pretty much everything to Clickup. Very impressed, and really big shout out to Jonathan Kickbush at a company called SEO Butler in the UK for recommending that. I started digging into it about kind of 5 or 6 weeks ago, when we needed a replacement for how tasks are managed in HubSpot, and wow, it's really good. And it really works well with the remote teams that we've got. So we've got existing employees, people from Matter Solutions who are working in our office in Brisbane CBD. Those people are working from home here in the city, here in Brisbane, not so much in the city, out in the suburbs, most of them. And then we've actually got some offshore people helping out. They've been with us actually for quite a while. We've got one that's been on the team for 2 years. And the idea really is that, they lend support to us. So we've been kind of having people work from home for 2 years. We've had a key kind of senior employee working from home since November. And now I kind of introduced this idea in February. And then whoosh, everybody was like, hey, I want to work from home. And then, yeah, all right. So we gave notice on our office. Thanks to Hub Australia for understanding that we needed to go, sooner than later, and we're done. We're out. Our room's empty. It's a bit echoey in there now. So, and that's it.
I think the main issue that I'm going to have is the aircon in Brisbane summer has been on full blast 90% of the time.
Yeah. You have to keep your own aircon on. Yeah, I've had extra aircon installed at my place to handle me being sat there all day. But yeah, it's good. Like I'm like, I can see actually that there's kind of two things have happened that have made the remote working kind of more successful. Firstly, some of the shifts we put in as we went to the new project management system was that we kind of became a bit more outcome focused instead of being like time tracking focused, which is certainly something we've been doing quite well over the last couple of years. We became a bit more oriented around, have you done the thing? Does it work? And somebody double checking what's been done, and that's working well. And that also means as remote teams we can have one person do the thing, assign it to another person, and they check up. And that means that it doesn't really matter where you are. It doesn't matter if you're traveling or doing whatever. Yeah, it's pretty good. And I mean, flexible hours, as long as the phone is covered, and obviously people still phone us quite a bit. We have a remote. Ever since we moved to the hub in the CBD, we've always had a server system for our phones, and that's actually based in Sydney. So we can dial off our phones, off our mobile phones, and it just looks like a landline call, or we can even do it on our thing. So if you need details about that, yeah, just ask us questions. So yeah, we should move on to the next one because we don't want to make it too long.
Yeah, that's it.
Anything else you want to add?
No, that's pretty good. I reckon we should move on to the second slide.
Yeah. Common questions. What are the big common questions we get, Sam?
One of the main ones is, can we get a discount? And it's kind of like everyone would have seen the drawing of the horse, where the front of the horse looks amazing because it's well done, and then the second part of the horse looks okay, and then the third part of the horse looks like it's been drawn by a 4-year-old with something in his or her eye. And that's pretty much that's one part of it. But it's also, people say to us, if you take on another of our businesses or another of our websites for Google Ads or for SEO, can we get a discount on that? And the question comes up very regularly. Yeah,
it's sort of with larger businesses. So we do actually have quite a few larger clients who have, like a portfolio of websites, and it makes it easier to an extent that you've got one person to deal with for multiple brands, multiple things, and there is some ease in that. But the difficulty is that when it comes to SEO, Google Ads, we sit down, you have to do the research, you have to pump along for each and every different website as if it's its own kind of, it's its own kind of boxer in its own right. If you wanted to get fit and go and have a boxing match, you wouldn't say, I'll train two of you. Maybe the trainer could do it for cheaper because they've only got one job to do, but the two boxers together, they still have to do the same amount of work. If between the two of them they only did half the work, they'd lose every time. So and that's kind of the thing about the Google Ads in particular. I mean, looking over the shoulder at what Sam does a lot, he's got to make the website kind of punch as hard as it can to get people through and convert into leads and sales, and that. You definitely don't want to cut a corner on that in terms of cost. And, I guess there's the opposite side of it. Like, I just kind of surprised Sam with the idea that, like, you've got this thing where if a client knows you, they trust you, they know you get their business, well, why are they asking for a discount? Maybe we should ask for a premium because we know the ins and outs of what they're up to. All right, well, we don't do that. We price things pretty damn fairly. I know we're very good value compared to some of the other people around, and pretty damn sensible in terms of what budgets they want to spend. Many of the SEO strategies, so I don't really want to bring in SEO for this podcast, but SEO strategies are very much kind of a journey from start to finish. So if you wanted to go off at $5,000 a month, great, you're going to be going at a faster pace than you would if you did $3,000 a month. But still, we're actually trying to cover, we're going in the same direction, we're just not necessarily covering the same distance each and every month, that's all.
And the other thing is people, it's not like, well, when I look at a Google Ads account, I also have to look at the back end of the website. I also have to look at, the analysis of the stats in Google Analytics. I have to make sure that everything's up to date with all of that. That's two separate jobs. It's not like it's all under the same umbrella. So, the analysis, and they're two separate, in all reality, they're two separate businesses with, even if they're going for the exact same keywords, they're completely different.
Yeah, you have to think of it from the side of they're two boxes that both have to work hard and train real hard. You can't look at it from the side of, it's like the trainer, they can just yell at two people at the same time. It doesn't work that way around. You have to do the work twice as hard for two things. That's it, really. Another kind of question that we get is, like, how does it start, or when can we get going, and that kind of thing. And really, it's very much that we can usually take on a client within a matter of days, but we spend a bit of time with clients before we engage with them and actually sign them up to make sure that they actually understand and they really get where we're going with the campaign. Obviously people come to us and they're like, quick, fix this now. And we're pretty good at that. Actually be commended for that kind of thing. But the problem we've got is that we need to make sure that clients really get it. Where are we going, medium, long term? Because particularly SEO, there's a point at which, if you think that the campaign is going to go off like a rocket, and really it takes 3 or 4 months before you start seeing even like the solid kind of turn of upswing, it can be immensely kind of frustrating. So the common questions are, we can be a bit upfront really, and maybe confronting, I guess, for some people, that they get a statement from us like, after 3 or 4 months you might feel frustrated with your SEO. But that's the truth of it. And if you go off with the guy who promises you the earth, maybe you'll have the same experience, but they won't be able to actually handle the issue. And so, that's it.
I think that's one of the main things with the sales. We do get obviously other questions, and this might be something that we'll explore in further podcasts. Other sales questions, and if you're keen to find out anything, let us know in the comments.
Even if you're like an agency and you're like, well, how do you handle this question? Well, there are some good ways of handling a lot of kind of problems. People say to us, if you can't start the client's campaign until the next calendar month, which does happen for us. How do you handle that? Well, in that case, basically it's, we're busy, we've got a capacity and we've got room to look after and help clients. And if, too many clients all come along at once, well, we have to just make somebody wait, because I don't want to take on, 4 clients and have one of them feel let down. We'd just rather get that person to wait and start them off in the next month. Simple. Sam, you want to talk about your Google Ads match changes?
One of the main things that has happened recently is the change to the exact match keyword match type.
I read something about this, but it's to find out what's going on. Really,
it's pretty. I won't swear, but it's pretty crappy. How they've done it, because essentially what they've done is they've made
a swear word, isn't it?
Yeah, well, it's it's one of the lower end of the spectrum.
The lesser swear words. Yeah.
We certainly probably don't need to bleep that one out, but it's essentially what they've done is they've said exact match keywords are now going to be broad match keywords, where Google's going to link anything with the same intent. Now, that is such a wild definition of of what exact is. I mean, one of the best things about an exact match keyword was that other than plurals or slight variations such as misspellings, it was exact. It was exactly what you'd written down. And now Google's saying, no, we're going to take that away from you and we are going to make it that it's broad match again, which is really, really bad for a lot of campaigns. Now, I'm seeing people...
Almost goes back to last week's podcast where we were saying Google taking away the steering wheel or the...
Yeah, exactly.
or the extra gear stick to make it simpler and dumbing it down. Is that...
And I'm seeing a lot of Google partners, and they're talking about how it's literally doing that. It's taking away their ability.
Do we give it away? Do we give it away that there's a Facebook group of Google partners? Yeah. We all talk to each other about how mad Google is.
I mean, they
cat's out the bag there.
Yeah, they're literally, asking what negative keywords to put in, because the negative keywords could be something that is highly targeted to that keyword, which it changes the whole game.
Maybe as an example, you've got like block drain suburb, right? Block drain Brisbane CBD. Okay, we search for that. It used to be that you put that in a square bracket and you'd get just people who search for exactly that. But now you get people searching for block drain Brisbane, I guess.
Yeah. Which
could be anywhere, just because the intent that Google's interpreting, CBD word, are they going to take that into account? Maybe then you're going to get all sorts of exposure all right. So you're then going to have to kind of funnel out and mess around with trying to get rid of keywords that, man, I don't envy you, because you're going to have to dig through all of those search term reports, and retroactively or retrospectively, you can't impact the money that has been spent. You just have to spend tons of money in order to learn what doesn't work.
So essentially, I've actually stopped using exact match for the time being. I will in the future when I've figured out exactly what's going on with the keywords, and I'm sure that there are scripts that you can find that will ensure that it's exact match. I know that back in the day, you're able to put scripts in even with the variations and misspellings. Ultimately, I'll be using broad match modified and phrase match for the time being. I wouldn't be surprised if that gets shifted in the future as well. However, at the moment, I'm sticking with those as my original campaign. So, you would have heard of SCAGs, or some people will have heard of the SCAGs type of ag groups and the like. So basically going to get rid of the exact match and just try and make it so that the match type is broad match modified or phrase match. And there are some specific examples. I won't go into them now because we've already spent quite a lot of time here. But if you'd like me to go through some of those specific examples, happy to do that.
Good. Lots of good information there. Cool. All right. Well, ask a question. This is Ask Matter Solutions after all, and then we'll go for it. Maybe we'll split them up a bit more. So let us know what you think.
Excellent. Thanks very much for listening.
Bye.
Bye.